Thank you, Alicia. Don't look so terrified. So, what I'd like to demonstrate actually is the tearless trauma, because we're working with a fear, and then we're going to move through to do the movie technique. And this is going to be quite interesting because Alicia says she's done some work on this fear, so it'll be a good way for us to test as well the results of what's happened before. So I can illustrate how to ask the right questions to see what's still left. All right. So, I'm assuming that this fear that you have is something maybe that you can't share with me just yet. So I would like you to just take a quick guess at what this would be like if you were to imagine it out of 10. So a quick guess of the number of intensity.
Probably about an 8.
Right.
Yeah.
So if it's an 8, we want to bring it down to a 5 or below before we start talking about anything, so that you're more comfortable. And if you could give this a title, and just a silly title of what this fear is about, so it might just be the name of a colour or something that's not too associative.
Okay. Clouds.
Clouds, that's okay, because your subconscious will connect to it a little bit, but I don't want you to get really connected to it. Okay, so you said it's about an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guess number. Okay, so we're just going to go top of the head. I'm just going to say this clouds movie.
This clouds movie.
This movie I have.
This movie I have.
Side of the eye. This clouds movie.
This clouds movie.
This movie.
This movie.
This clouds movie.
This clouds movie.
This clouds movie.
This clouds movie.
I have a movie.
I have a movie.
I've called it Clouds.
I've called it Clouds.
This clouds movie.
This clouds movie.
This movie I have.
This movie I have.
It's called Clouds.
It's called Clouds.
Let's just do a nice big breath in. Very short round of tapping. Just a quick guess again of what you think it could be. The intensity, is it dropped at all, or is it the same?
It's dropped maybe to a 6.
To a 6, just a little bit more. This Clouds movie.
This Clouds movie.
This movie I have.
This movie I have.
It's called Clouds.
It's called Clouds.
This movie.
This movie.
It's called Clouds.
It's called Clouds.
This Clouds movie.
This Clouds movie.
This movie.
This movie.
This Clouds movie.
This Clouds movie.
This movie I have.
This movie I have.
Big breath in. Let it go. If you have a quick guess again.
Maybe about a 5.
About a 5.
Yeah.
So if it's a 5, are you comfortable to start telling me what this fear is of? Not necessarily any exact event, but are you happy to just tell me a little bit about what it is? And if you get a spike and you feel really anxious, we're just going to tap on that before we go anywhere else.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So.
It's a fear of flying, getting on a plane.
Yes.
Yeah, generally.
Okay. And when you said that to me just now, is there any more anxiety? You say it's a fear of flying, getting on a plane?
I think that's still sitting around about a 5 or a 6.
Okay, so we're just going to acknowledge that before we go to even though I've got this fear.
Even though I've got this fear.
Of flying.
Of flying.
Of sitting on a plane.
Of sitting on a plane.
I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I've got this fear of flying.
Even though I've got this fear of flying.
Sitting on a plane.
Sitting on a plane.
I love and accept all of me anyway.
I love and accept all of me anyway.
I'm open to clearing this fear.
I'm open to clearing this fear.
So I can fly comfortably again.
So I can fly comfortably again.
Top of the head. This fear of flying.
This fear of flying.
This fear of sitting on a plane.
This fear of sitting on a plane.
This fear of flying on a plane.
This fear of flying on a plane.
This fear I have of sitting on a plane.
This fear I have of sitting on a plane.
This fear of flying in an aeroplane.
This fear of flying in an aeroplane.
This fear of sitting on a plane.
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 This fear I have of flying.
This fear I have of flying.
Big breath in. Can you just say what you're afraid of again?
I'm afraid of flying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting on a plane.
Yes. And what's the intensity out of 10 of you saying that?
3.
A 3. So it's a 3, but we haven't gone into any aspects yet. But we've actually supported you, hopefully, to just feel calmer about going there.
Yeah.
Now you have said that you've done some work on this already with hypnotherapy. So, would you like to tell me from the beginning what it is that bothers you about flying? So just start where you need to start as far as buying the ticket or getting on the plane, doors shutting. Whenever you start to talk and you get a rise of that makes me feel anxious, tell me, we're going to tap through it. So we're kind of doing the movie technique on this now.
Okay. So I do have a little, whenever I buy a ticket,
Yes.
I do have a bit of hesitation
Yes.
clicking that button,
Yeah.
that buy button,
Yeah, yeah.
because it transports me to being on the plane.
Okay.
I think about.
So when you say that now out of 10, how strong is that? Pressing the button and it transports you to being on the plane.
Probably about a 5.
It's about 5. And where do you feel that in your body?
In my chest.
Okay, so top of the head, this feeling in my chest.
This feeling in my chest.
Buying the ticket.
Buying the ticket.
This feeling in my chest.
This feeling in my chest.
Pressing the button.
Pressing the button.
It transports me
It transports me
to being on the plane.
to being on the plane.
Pushing that button.
Pushing that button.
Buying the ticket.
Buying the ticket.
It transports me
It transports
in my
me
mind.
in my mind.
Being on the plane.
Being on the plane.
I feel anxious in my chest.
Anxious in my chest.
Big breath in. And let it go. See, we're just doing short spurts of tapping. We're just checking in throughout. So tell me that last bit again about buying the ticket.
Yeah, so when I log online to buy the ticket,
Yeah.
I sometimes have some hesitation
Yes.
when I go to press the buy
Yes.
button.
Yes, and when you said that now out of 10, you said it was a 5 before or a 6.
Yeah.
What is it now?
Probably a 2.
A 2. And did you notice what she said? Different words.
Hesitation.
Yes. Sometimes have hesitation, whereas before it was like when I buy a ticket.
Yeah.
So you have a bit of clarity. It's not all the time, perhaps,
Yeah.
or maybe there's just a shift within you. So that's a 2.
Yeah.
Very good. So is
Yeah.
it feeling better here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. So what else is the problem with you? Can you get yourself comfortable to think about getting on the plane? Are you okay to share about what happens when you get on the plane?
Yes.
Yes. And tell me again when you get any reaction.
Okay, so when I arrive to the airport, I go through security and
Yes.
that's all fine.
Yes.
And then as we board the plane,
Yes.
going down the gangway, I
Yes.
think it's called,
Yep.
and finding my seat, I
Mhm.
start to feel closed in.
Do you feel it now when you talk about it?
Yeah.
Out of 10?
That's an 8.
Top of the head, I feel closed in.
I feel closed in.
I feel closed in.
I feel closed in.
Walking down the gangway,
Walking down the gangway,
I feel closed in.
I feel closed in.
Under the nose, it becomes real.
It becomes real.
I feel closed in.
I feel closed in.
Walking down the gangway,
Walking down the gangway,
I feel closed in.
I feel closed
Where
in.
do you feel that in your body?
Ah,
In your throat,
here.
yeah. This feeling in my throat.
This feeling in my throat.
Big breath in. Is it still a 9? Was it a 9? 8?
No, that's probably about a 5.
Say it again. What happens when you walk?
So as I walk down the gangplank and onto the plane,
Yes.
and then look from my seat, I start to feel quite closed in.
And then, yeah, keep going.
And then when I sit in my seat,
Sorry, I want to pause that bit because you said it'd gone down to a 5. You said I'm walking down the gangway and it feels now like a 5, not an 8.
Yeah.
Is that still a 5, walking down the gangway? Can you imagine that?
yeah,
Yeah, so we can bring that down more before we go any further. We're going to
Okay.
do the 9 gamut.
okay,
Looking straight ahead and feel as comfortable as you can. Remember, walking down the gangway, feeling closed in, it's in your throat. Look hard down left. Straight ahead, hard down right. Straight ahead, big breath in. Release. Just get you to follow my finger. Feeling closed in.
feeling closed in,
Constriction in my throat.
just constriction in my throat,
Feeling closed in.
feeling closed in,
Constriction in my throat.
constriction in my throat,
Feeling closed in.
feeling closed in,
Walking down the gangway.
walking down the gangway,
Big breath. Release. And this way. Feeling closed in.
feeling closed in,
Walking down the gangway.
walking down the gangway,
Looking for my seat.
looking for my seat,
Sitting in my seat.
sitting in my seat,
Is constriction in my throat.
there's constriction in my throat,
I choose to let it go.
I choose to let it go,
This constriction in my throat.
there's constriction in my throat,
Big breath. Release. Just talk me through that last bit again. I'll keep tapping you.
Yeah, so walking down the game plank,
Yes.
gangway.
Yes.
Yeah, and I often have a feeling of feeling
Mhm.
closed in. And once I get into the aisle, I feel, and walking to my seat, I feel a bit closed in as well.
Let's just stop there. And is that, what number is that as you see it now?
That's dropped actually quite considerably. Probably a 4.
A 4?
Yeah.
Is it still in your throat? Is it somewhere else? Where is it?
It's still a little bit in my throat. It's
Mhm.
not as intense.
So it's a 4, and this is where it's good to ask the right questions again. So is it still the bit about walking down the going way, or is it now in your seat? Have you
I think
moved to a different aspect?
I think it's sitting in my seat.
Talk to me about what happens when you sit in the seat.
So when I sit in my seat, and usually there's some time before we
Yes.
take off,
Yes.
and so I start to feel quite hot
Yes.
and trapped.
And now do you feel that?
Yeah, a little flushed in
Little
my
flushed in your
face,
face.
and my cheeks.
I feel hot and trapped.
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 Sitting in my seat waiting.
Sitting in my seat
I
waiting.
feel hot.
I feel hot.
I feel trapped.
I feel trapped.
I'm just waiting,
I'm just waiting.
and I get hot.
And I get hot.
I can feel hot now,
I can feel hot now.
as if I'm on the plane.
As if I'm on the plane.
But I'm not on the plane.
But I'm not on the plane.
I'm here now,
I'm here now.
working through this fear,
Working through this fear.
this hotness in my face,
This hotness in my face.
feeling trapped,
Feeling trapped.
feeling trapped.
Feeling trapped.
Take a big breath in. Let go. Eyebrow. This flushed feeling,
This flushed feeling.
thinking about being in my seat
Thinking about being in my seat.
with my buckle on,
With my buckle on.
waiting
Waiting
for takeoff,
for takeoff.
feeling flushed in my face,
Feeling flushed in my face.
feeling hot,
Feeling hot.
feeling trapped.
Feeling trapped.
Let's just do another check-in. Anytime, remember, breathing in and let go. How's the feeling in your face and the trapped feeling? Talk
Yeah.
to me about
I
it.
don't feel the heat in my face.
Don't feel the heat, okay.
anymore. And the trapped feeling is probably about a 3.
About a 3, so more comfortable.
Yeah.
Is there any other part of this when you remember being on the plane that's, there's another piece? Are you, take off, okay. So are you ready to go to take off? So,
yeah.
when you said that just now, did that spike?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it did.
to what?
Probably
Number?
back up to an 8.
And where do you feel that in your body?
There's like a tingling in my head.
Tingling in my head,
Tingling in my head.
thinking about taking off.
Thinking about taking off.
Tingling in my head,
Tingling in my head.
thinking about taking off.
Thinking about taking off.
Tingling in my head.
Tingling in my head.
Sounds of the engines, would it
The
be?
sounds of the engines.
Tingling in my head.
Tingling in my head.
The sounds of the
The
engines.
sounds of the engines.
Anticipating taking off.
Anticipating taking
I
off.
have tingling in my head.
I have tingling in my head.
My body's responding now
My body's responding now
to imagining being on the plane.
to imagining being on the
Big
plane.
breath. Tingling in your head, is that the same?
Go on.
Gone, okay. Say that last bit again about what are you waiting for?
Yes, so waiting for takeoff,
Mm-hmm.
and hearing the engines
Mhm.
fire up.
And that's how do you feel when you say that?
Pretty neutral.
Good. So you see the importance of testing just as you go, You don't need to go right, that's the beginning, it gets very monotonous.
Yeah.
At the end we might just test it all out
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning, but not as we go, because it takes too long. So, and you can see how quick this can be. This is,
10 minutes.
yeah, no, this is good, thank you. I know you've done some work on it before, but it's interesting, isn't it, that actually there's some left in there,
Yeah.
and you haven't been able to test it out yet
No.
since you did the hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
So it's not poo-pooing hypnotherapy at all, but there's still pieces, aspects that still need taking care of. So that's neutral, that's great. Is there anything else?
Yes, so the taxiing down the runway of the plane and feeling
Yes. Okay.
pushed into my seat.
Yes, what's that doing for you now?
My stomach.
Stomach. This
Yeah.
feeling in my stomach.
It's feeling in my stomach.
Taxiing down the runway.
Taxiing down the runway.
Going back in my seat.
Going back in my seat.
I'm bracing myself now.
Embracing myself now.
I feel it in my stomach.
I feel it in my stomach.
I'm bracing myself.
Embracing myself.
I'm bracing myself.
Embracing myself.
I can feel it in my stomach.
I can feel it in my stomach.
My digestive system.
My digestive system.
Bracing myself.
Bracing myself.
Deep breath. We'll just do a little bit more. Going down the runway.
Going down the runway.
Landing.
Landing.
Bracing myself.
Bracing myself.
Hearing the sound of landing.
Hearing the sound of landing.
Bracing myself in my seat.
Bracing myself in my
I
seat.
can feel it in my stomach.
I can feel it in my stomach.
I'm here to release it now.
I'm here to release it now.
I'm here to release it right now.
I'm here to release it right now.
This response I have,
This response I have,
maybe it's not necessary.
maybe it's not necessary.
Maybe I can be more comfortable.
Maybe I can be more comfortable.
I choose to let this go.
I choose to let this go.
Let's just stop and breathe again. And tell me that last bit again about when you're coming down.
The taxiing down the runway when I feel the movement of the plane push me back into
Yes.
my seat.
Yes.
I usually feel it in my stomach, but I don't feel it.
Okay. Better?
Yeah.
Good.
It doesn't drop, it's like
No.
my stomach drop.
No, but fantastic. So
Yeah.
you've aligned your energy system
Yeah.
very quickly. So it didn't need to take that long. With the right questioning, with the right guidance, you can all do this with practice. It just takes practice. Just keep working through each little bit at a time, step by step. So, is that the end? Was the end of the pieces to?
They're the worst parts.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's usually like cruising is okay,
Yeah.
generally.
Yes.
I just have to stay, like, put my attention on something, like a movie or something,
Mhm.
and just stay
Mhm.
focused.
So let's just take care of that a little bit.
Okay.
Cruising, because you will normally distract yourself because you are in a bit of fear, fight, flight, or freeze,
Yeah,
or
have
flop.
to close, like,
Yes,
bugs and everything.
because you don't like the feeling of cruising because your mind might go somewhere.
Yes.
Are you comfortable to just let yourself go into cruise mode?
Yeah.
How does that feel? No distractions. This is a plane.
She doesn't. She looks
Yeah, I have that tightness in my throat again.
This tightness in my throat.
This tightness in my throat.
Cruising.
Cruising.
No distractions.
No distractions.
This tightness in my throat.
This tightness in my
Is
throat.
it, what's the emotion?
Fear.
Yeah, this fear.
This fear.
This fear.
This fear
In my throat.
in my throat.
Cruising.
Cruising.
It's silent.
It's silent.
Cruising.
Cruising.
It's silent.
It's silent.
Makes me afraid.
Makes me afraid.
The cruising on the plane.
The cruising on the
I
plane.
normally distract myself.
I normally distract
I
myself.
can feel the fear now.
I can feel the fear now.
I'm here to let it go.
I'm here to let it go.
So so that maybe
So that maybe
I can enjoy a bit of silence on the plane.
I can enjoy a bit of silence on the plane.
Top of the head. But right now I feel fear.
But right now I feel fear.
And I feel it in my throat.
I feel it in my throat.
Imagining the cruising.
Imagining the cruising.
This fear of cruising.
This fear of cruising.
Without any distraction.
Without any distraction.
I choose to let the fear go.
I choose to let the fear go.
In my throat.
In my throat.
Big breath. We're on a plane. We're cruising. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so usually when I'm cruising I have to put a movie on or something and always keep my noise cancelling earplugs in so
Yes.
I can't hear anything going on around me.
Yes.
I need to shut out
Yes.
the world,
Yes.
basically.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel lighter. in my
Lighter
throat.
in your throat? Is
Yeah.
there anything in, and you, as you said that, was there anything spiking a bit?
My throat went, my mouth went really dry.
So there's something in the quietness because you're waiting for a sound on the plane, something you don't normally like, making your mouth dry. What is that? Are you okay to share that with me?
Yeah,
What is it?
like a bang or an engine.
This fear?
This fear.
Something's going wrong on the plane.
Something that's going wrong on
And
the plane.
you might need to tap along. Some people might feel that. This fear?
This fear.
Something going wrong on the plane.
Something going wrong on the plane.
This fear?
This fear.
A bang?
A bang.
Something not right?
Something not right.
I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that.
This fear?
This fear.
This dry mouth?
this dry mouth,
this fear
this fear
of hearing something,
something
that I think's not right.
something that I think's not right.
And have you heard something before that you've thought is not right? Sounds on the plane?
No, I've
Well,
smelled
you
something.
Smelled something,
Yeah.
Okay. This fear
This fear,
of something not right on the plane.
there's something not right on the plane.
I've smelt something.
I've smelled something.
I've jumped to a conclusion.
I've jumped to a
I
conclusion.
can feel that fear now.
I can feel that fear now.
This fear,
This fear,
this dry mouth.
this dry mouth.
I've smelt something.
I've smelled something.
Something I believe shouldn't be there.
Something I believe shouldn't be there.
That freaked me out.
That freaked me
I
out.
have a dry mouth.
I have a dry mouth,
But I'm here to acknowledge it.
but I'm here to acknowledge
This
it.
fear of smells.
This fear of smells.
This fear of sounds on the plane.
This fear of sounds on the plane
That I believe shouldn't be there.
that I believe shouldn't be there.
I don't feel safe.
I don't feel safe.
All this fear.
All this fear.
I'm acknowledging how I feel.
I'm acknowledging how I
And
feel.
I choose to let go.
I choose to let go.
I choose to be calm.
I choose to be calm.
I choose to let go of this fear.
I choose to let go of this fear.
This fear of smells.
This fear of smells.
This fear of noises.
This fear of noises.
If we're cruising.
If we're cruising.
Let's stop and breathe. Can you talk to me about that last piece again?
Yeah,
Do you need water?
I do. I
Yeah.
have some here actually.
Don't need to make yourself that unnecessarily. So specifically the sounds and the smell.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I wear my headphones to
Yeah.
try and block the world out because some of the sounds scare me. I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Um,
And as you
probably
say
they're
that
just
now.
normal.
Yeah. When you say that now, is there anything?
No, not really. That's quite low.
Good.
Yeah,
Mm.
under a 5.
Okay, under a 5.
Yeah.
What number?
Oh, probably about a 3 or 4.
Top of the head, just one more round. Strange sounds.
Strange sound.
This remaining fear
This remaining fear.
of strange sounds.
Strange sound.
But maybe they're just normal.
Maybe they're just
That's
normal.
what you just said. These sounds
These sounds
that I think are strange.
that I think are strange.
Tune into that in a minute. These sounds
These sounds
that I think are strange.
that I think are strange.
That I think are suspicious.
That I think are suspicious.
Maybe they're normal
Maybe they're normal.
because I got off that plane.
Because I got off that plane.
These strange sounds.
These strange sounds.
Don't like those sounds.
Don't like these sounds.
They're suspicious.
They're suspicious.
But maybe they're normal.
But maybe they're normal.
This fear
This fear
of these strange
of
sounds.
these strange
I
sounds.
choose to let it go.
And choose to let it go.
What would you like to choose instead?
Confidence.
Yeah, choose to feel more confident
I choose to feel more confident
in the whole experience.
in the whole experience.
Choose to feel more confident
And choose to feel more confident
in the whole experience.
in the whole experience.
Sometimes there might be sounds.
Sometimes there might be sounds.
Sometimes there might be smells.
Sometimes there might be smells.
But I choose to be okay with that.
I choose to be okay with that.
This remaining fear of sounds
This remaining fear of sounds
and smells.
and smells.
Stop and breathe. Last piece, that piece about sounds and
Yeah, so blocking out.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid I might hear a sound that I don't know the origin of, and I'm not
Okay.
sure it's meant to be there.
And what number is that when you say that? The fear?
2.
2. Better.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in this whole experience?
No, but I do feel quite sweaty now.
That can be a very good normal response.
Yeah.
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 And your physiology is all calibrating right now.
Yeah.
The tapping's aligning your whole energy system to an event in the past,
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
you've flown.
Yeah.
And if you don't take care of it, you keep reinforcing. It's any sound,
Yeah.
any sound, any smell.
Yeah.
So by aligning your system, because we don't know, we never know what's going to happen when we walk out the door. But by doing this, it doesn't mean you become careless. It just means, in a way, you do care less, but not careless as in irresponsible with anything.
Yeah.
But yes, that's quite a good response that you're a bit hot, sweaty. You went through a whole load of different emotions and body responses,
Yeah.
flushing, feeling in your stomach,
Yeah.
chest, dry mouth, all as if you're on the plane.
Yes.
All the power of the mind because you took yourself there.
Yeah.
So the power of working through this is that when you next imagine, actually we're going to test this out now, from the beginning, just talk me through buying a ticket to the end. Let's
Okay.
just, any big spike, let me know. Let's just see. We're
Okay.
testing our work now.
Okay, so if I want to go on a trip, sometimes when I log on to buy my ticket, I have a little bit of hesitation in pressing that buy button.
Mm-hmm. Tell me if there's anything when you say that. No?
No.
Okay, good.
And then once I get to the airport, go through security, it's all fine. Walking down the gangway towards the plane, I start to get a feeling of being closed in. And then once I'm on the plane, that feeling,
Anything? Okay.
once I'm on the plane going down the aisle to find my seat, that feeling becomes more intense.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm sitting in my seat, waiting for takeoff, I start to feel very hot sometimes and get more closed in. I feel more stuck.
And now, as you explain that,
It's there. It's like really low, maybe a 1 or 2.
okay.
I don't think it's completely gone, but
Mhm.
it definitely feels a lot
Mm-hmm.
easier.
Yes. So when you say it's not completely gone, what is that little bit?
I think it's just the anxiety of anticipation.
So one last aspect here, I think. Even though I have this anxiety of anticipation,
Even though I have this anxiety of anticipation,
because I've not actually got back on a plane yet,
so I've not actually got back on a plane yet,
and I have some residual anxiety of anticipation.
and I have some residual anxiety of
It's a long
anticipation.
twist, isn't it? Where do you feel that in your body?
Oh, I think like back in my throat again.
Yeah. So it's important to test that bit out because it's there. It's an
Yeah.
aspect. It's in my throat.
It's in my throat.
I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself.
Even though I
anyway.
have this feeling in my throat.
Even though I have this feeling in my throat.
It's an anxiety about anticipating flying.
It's an anxiety about anticipating flying.
Good, top of the head. This anxiety in my throat.
This anxiety in my throat.
Anticipation about getting on the plane.
Anticipation about getting on the
I haven't
plane.
flown yet.
I haven't flown
Just
yet.
imagine it a little bit as much as you can. It's anticipation in my throat.
It's anticipation in my throat.
It's anxiety.
This
It's
anxiety.
a familiar feeling.
It's a familiar feeling.
I wonder what it would be like
I wonder what it would be like
to be excited instead.
to be excited instead.
What else could you think about that could be positive instead of feeling that way about getting on a plane?
Safe
Yeah.
and secure.
Yeah, I choose to feel safe and secure
I choose to feel safe and secure
with all the people on the plane.
with all the people on the plane.
The pilots,
The pilots,
the air stewards,
the air stewards,
the people on the plane.
the people on the plane.
Maybe it could be a pleasant experience.
Maybe it could be a pleasant experience.
I choose to feel safe.
I choose to feel safe.
This remaining anxiety in my throat,
This remaining anxiety in my throat,
this anticipation,
this anticipation,
I choose to let it go.
I choose to let it go.
Big breath. How's the throat?
Yeah, that's good. It's like more open.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
So the real test is obviously going and buying a ticket the way you do, getting on a plane. So for the purpose of this demonstration, we might finish there.
Yeah.
We are going to finish with the little heart space visualization.
Okay.
So if you'd like to place your hands on your heart, I'm just tapping that 9 gamut point between the little finger and the ring finger. And if you could now just close your eyes and imagine above your head there's a nice big bubble, you can tap or rub that point on your hand. And can you visualise a different experience comfortably? Are you able to do that? Yeah? And just be with whatever feels comfortable. And see what that looks like and smell it, experience it. Maybe it's nice smells of fresh orange juice or something nice. Feeling safe. What's the colour that represents feeling safe when you fly?
Pale pink.
Pale pink, that's lovely. So just imagine filling up that bubble with pale pink and you're sitting comfortably on the plane, you're going to travel somewhere, maybe somewhere really nice. And there's a potential to actually enjoy this experience in the company of others. Nowhere else to go, you can relax, do what you want to do. How does that feel?
Yeah, that's good.
Feels good. So just feel, see, smell, fully experience, listen to the sounds. Imagine bringing that into the front, rear, left and right of your brain, opening up the neural pathways to feeling more safe and comfortable on the plane. Send this around your body, Alicia, inviting this to your cells, calming your nervous system even more, knowing you can be safe and comfortable when you fly. Sending it around your whole body, so your whole body's becoming pink. And now for 14 seconds we're going to visualise this, see, smell, feel, fully experience, breathing this into your heart space. Fill up your heart and send the energy of feeling safe and comfortable out with your out breath. Breathing it into your heart and sending it out. Enjoying the experience of flying, breathing it in and send it all out. Wonderful. Just dropping your hands nice and relaxed onto your lap. And then just in your own time, just coming back into the room. Okay.
Oh, a lot calmer.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. And time will tell when you actually test in real time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.